everybody. Welcome to Life Stories. I'm so glad that you're here. Today's a very special episode. I think I say that every week, but every week I am excited to share the conversations with you that I have with these amazing people that are doing just wonderful things all over the country. I spoke with Chelsea from Icing Smiles, and Icing Smiles is a nonprofit that bakes cakes for families and children that are dealing with a terminal illness. There's a lot of different reasons why these families want these cakes. Sometimes they're celebration cakes, sometimes they're memorial cakes, but there are bakers, volunteer bakers all over the United States that bake cakes for a child for a special reason. After the holidays, I'm signing up. I'm going to send them the pictures that I've made. I have to do a fun cake, not a fancy cake. You'll learn about that when you listen to the conversation. But I'm excited to be a part of this organization. I think what they are doing is incredible. And I'll bring up our word of the week.
It's the word of the week.
So, our word of the week this week is smile. Did you know that smiling is good for your body? It's not just good for the person that you're smiling at. Sometimes I can get in a hurry and I can get on a mission when I'm at the store, when I'm running around town. But if I look up at and smile at somebody, sometimes that might be the only smile they see, maybe all week. There's a lot of health benefits to smiling. If you're a baker, especially if you are a professional baker, if you are exceptional at making cakes and beautiful cookies, I have people in mind that I'm going to send this interview to because I want them to sign up with this nonprofit. I encourage you to reach out and to find out how to help. I think it's incredible what they are doing. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.
Hello.
How are you?
All right. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Well, thank you so much for talking to me today. I'm very excited. I really am looking for people that are doing unique things. They're doing stuff that you don't see everywhere. And that's what Icing Smiles is. It's not something that I mean, I know y'all are doing it everywhere, but it's not
No.
something that's all over the place. So I would love for you to tell me how it got started and what you do with that company.
Yeah, so Icing Smiles is a nationwide nonprofit.
Mhm.
We have about 13,000 bakers around the United States,
Wow.
where we pair medical children with life-altering and terminal illnesses
Mhm.
with bakers and pastry chefs around the company to create dream cakes and fun cakes for special occasions.
Yeah.
So the child gets to pick what their cake is for. It can be for a birthday celebration. It can be for a ringing of the bell ceremony for cancer treatment. It can be
Yeah.
for a heart anniversary of a heart transplant.
Wow.
We also offer sibling cakes, which is something special about our nonprofit.
Mhm.
Siblings, while the child who's going through a medical situation obviously needs a lot of attention and should get
Mhm.
it, siblings often kind of have to take a backseat during that
Right.
time. And it's a really special way to give them, whether it's their day, whether it's their birthday or a day that they just want to celebrate them, an opportunity for them to feel special. It
Right.
also is a huge relief, for parents to just be able to take a step back and know that the cake is handled, it's going to be special, and something that we can contribute to making a smile and also kind of making life a little bit easier on the parent. And then we also offer memorial cakes. So if a child does pass, we offer cakes to celebrate their life.
Wow. So how did this nonprofit get started?
Yeah, so Tracy Quisenberry is the founder of Icing Smiles. She's still the executive director. Tracy, Tracy's not a baker by trade. Tracy's actually an international tax accountant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So she found the joy in what she did. She delivered the first Icing Smiles cake, and has grown it slowly into what, and I say slowly, I mean, not really. It's, we're 12 or 13 years in, but we're about to hit cake 30,000.
Wow.
So incredible accomplishment.
Yeah.
The organization kind of took off by a, a famous baker joined and did a cake, and the post got shared by, I think it was Life magazine.
Oh my
And
goodness.
then it kind of exploded from there with bakers signing up around the country. I found out about Icing Smiles right after I graduated culinary school. So I'm a fully trained pastry chef, and cakes are my passion, my interest in what I wanted to do. And I had a friend who knew of the organization, and I joined. So I've done 6 dream cakes for Icing Smiles. My story is kind of twofold. I joined before I had kids, before I even knew, about the impact that a medical child could create on a family. When my first son, Vincent, was born, Vincent was born with several congenital heart defects.
Mm.
My son underwent 4 open heart surgeries, and ended up passing away at 10 weeks old.
Oh,
I find it extremely important to, keep him here with us in spirit and celebrate his life.
yes.
So every year I throw a birthday party fundraiser for him. And the first year I could plan it, but I didn't have it in me to make the cake also. I can, I'm trained to, but it just emotionally, I can only do so much. So Icing Smiles stepped in. So I've been served a cake by the organization also.
Wow.
I always felt the power of what I did. I mean, I love volunteering. I love giving back. So making and using, my skills to make cakes for families going through some of the hardest times was always special. But then seeing the organization from the other side also, and knowing truly on that day what receiving a cake meant to me, really, further fueled my fire for what Icing Smiles is and does.
Right.
So I've kind of grown with the organization, and now oversee communications and development also, in addition to baking. So it's fun. It's really neat. The families we get to meet, the families we get to touch and be a part of their story. These children that we serve kind of go through more in their childhood than most people
Yeah.
should go through in a lifetime. And cake is really a cool way. We get asked often, why cake? All they're going through, you could donate money to different organizations, and it's all incredible and special, and all of these organizations need to thrive and exist.
Right.
But at the same time, right now, who we are, we can't find a cure, we can't change where the process is, so we want to create reasons to smile, and these kids deserve that in these moments.
Absolutely. I love what it said on your website that long after the cake is gone, the memories linger, because you're going to remember, and I can remember, not that anybody's made me a cake out of the blue, but I remember special acts of kindness from someone I knew, or even a stranger or something else. You remember those things. So I know that it's so special to the families. I love it. I love what you're doing.
It's been
So when
really,
somebody,
I
go
was
ahead.
just really neat too, to see, the impact. It's a ricochet effect, you're serving the cake to the child, but then it's affecting the parents, and then it's affecting the neighbor who came to the birthday party, or the in-home health nurse who was there during the celebration. It creates so many more smiles than just that one child. And those smiles are lasting, and they really, during these times, people need light and people need happy, and that's what these smiles create.
Absolutely. So I looked online. I am not a professional baker. I did not go to culinary school, but I did have a gluten-free bakery at one time. So I love
Good for
to bake.
you.
So I looked online at signing up. I didn't realize until I looked at your website that y'all have bakers everywhere. Like you said on there, you have no bakery with an oven or anything else. It's people all over. So what is the process like to apply to do something like that?
Yeah, so we fall under the goodwill laws of that. We encourage our bakers to check with their county and their states, but you don't have to be a trained pastry chef. You don't have to have a storefront to volunteer for us. We do have an application process. You just go onto our website, icingsmiles.org, and volunteer. We call our bakers our sugar angels. So you sign up to be a sugar angel. We do ask for either links to your social platform, or pictures to be submitted of your work. We do have different levels of cakes we serve. We have fun cakes, which are more like a sheet cake, a single tiered cake.
That would be me.
Yeah, and that's perfect. And we need bakers to serve those all the time. And then we have our dream cakes, which are our tiered or our sculpted cakes. And so those, we classify our bakers based off the level of what they're able to do. So that as our requests come in, when our families fill out our application, we have an application for our families also. We then put a radius around the family and see what bakers are in the area. We then send our bakers what we call a call to action, and they get to see the date that we need it for, and they can accept or decline. We understand that either people have lives or are running businesses or whatever it may be. So we understand that not every call to action can be accepted for your area. But then once you're able to accept that call to action, the baker gets the child's theme that they want for their cake, and then the baker gets to take it and do their creativity. So some bakers take that as an opportunity to try a new skill or do something cool, and then others, work with what they are doing in that week to be able to fulfill the order and make this special.
Are the kids all in hospitals when you're delivering these cakes? Are they at home? Is it just kind of
both.
Yeah.
We do serve children in hospitals, but some children, depending on what their condition may be,
Right.
some are lifelong illnesses that they're able to live a quote unquote normal life at this moment. And others are currently battling at a severe level where they are hospitalized. That does impact our bakers' ability to deliver the cakes.
Yeah.
I've been really lucky to be able to deliver and meet the child of all of the cakes I've served. It really just adds to the joy behind it. But that's not always a possibility. If a child, especially post-COVID and all of that,
Right.
rules and regulations behind hospitals and things like that have changed. So
Yeah.
a lot of times it's meeting with the parent or a family member of the family to get the cake to them, but the impact of the cake itself still is fully
Oh,
there.
I'm sure.
We have served in all 50 states,
Awesome.
and like I think I said already, we're about to hit cake 30,000. So it's been a really cool way to touch around the country. Right now, our goal is to become a household name. It takes opportunities like this. So thank you for having us on today of getting our name out there, getting our mission and what we do out there, because right now, not everybody does know about us. But there's so many bakers willing to serve, and there's so many families out there that sadly are qualified to serve, and we want them to feel the joy.
Well, I'm gonna get back on there and I'm gonna sign up because I love baking. But when I looked on your site, I thought, oh no, I'd have to do a fun cake. I can't do the fancy ones.
Yeah, but no, it's neat. We also have a cookie program also. So we
Okay.
have cookie decorators and bakers. Some of our sugar angels for cakes do cookies also and sign up for both programs. And then we have bakers that specialize in cookies. So our cookie program is a little bit more of a secret program in a way, where our sugar angels receive a name and an address to send a dozen cookies to, and it comes as a complete surprise to the family.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So it's a nice way to let them know that they're still being thought about, we still want to serve them and encourage smiles and joy, while right now we're not serving them a cake itself. So it's another touch point for them, another reason to smile, and it's cool to engage kind of more of our bakers to be a part of the program.
That's
You also
awesome.
mentioned about being, you were a gluten-free baker. We work really hard to pair families if their medical child does have allergies or medical or dietary restrictions on what they can't eat, to find a baker that can match those things so that the cake can be fully enjoyed.
That's wonderful. I have a son who has autism, and so he was on a very strict, it's not so strict now, he's an adult, but very strict gluten-free diet when he was younger. And so I've always wanted to have some kind of a coffee shop or bakery or something, and I had an opportunity to do it, and I thought if I don't at least try, I'm going to kick myself one day. And it lasted about a year, lost a whole lot of money, but I still don't regret it for 1 minute. I loved it. And I love to bake. I'm just not a fancy, baker. I always ask everybody this, but what is your favorite thing about what you do? And you kind of said it, I probably can guess. You kind of said it already. But what what do you just love to be able to do with this program?
I mean, to not like exactly say anything I've said yet, all of it just kind of really brings me joy. And it's
Yeah,
cool that I get to see, with my position in development and communications, like I get to hear so many of the stories.
right.
I get touch points with the families. I also get touch points with the bakers. So I get to see full circle, like everybody who this organization is affecting. I mean,
Yeah,
no doubt my favorite part is when I get to do my cakes and meet the families
yeah,
and be a part of their smile and their experience. Um, but I really think, as a baker and as this being my passion, to see how much joy it can bring across the country and how much, so many people share the same mission as me and the want to use icing as a way to give back and
yes.
smile, really probably is my favorite part. The community that is built around this organization is really special.
Is there a story? Because I know I was telling my husband about this program, and he said it's heartbreaking that it needs to exist, but it's so wonderful that it does. Is there a story? Because I'm sure you know, they're all hard. Is there a story that really stands out to you that, I mean, just moved you more than any other?
Yeah, so one of the families that we served, the child's name is Jaden, and Mike Elder was the chef for the cake,
Mhm.
and the child was on hospice.
Oh,
And we got the call, and we work really hard to, if it's a end of life situation, we have time frames put in place that requests have to happen. But obviously, in a situation like that, we will pull every string possible to make something happen.
right.
So Mike Elder stepped up and served this incredible Diego cake. It was
Oh,
sculpted,
wow.
just phenomenal cake. Um, the child was in a hospital bed, on hospice, and passed away the next day.
Mm,
And in all of the grief and emotions that the family was going through, the mom contacted us the next day, telling the days, a day, 2 days after her child passed away, to tell us how we as an organization brought joy on his last day on earth.
oh,
And for her to take the time out of her grieving, to all she was going through, to
yeah,
tell us the importance of what we're doing and what we did to bring to their family, just, I mean, you can't hear that story and not feel impacted by
yeah,
it and know what these cakes are doing. I mean, that child, the stage he was at, it meant so much to the family and what we could do for them for that day to make really his last day on earth a celebration.
yeah,
And that's what Icing Smiles does, whether it's, their last birthday or their birthday to help celebrate the next 50 to 100 to come, is what we hope for every
right.
single child. But that these cakes get to be a part of that. And that's just one story out of hundreds and
Oh,
hundreds
yeah.
that we get back to
Yeah.
us, to know that, what they're doing. And it as we get that feedback and hear these stories, it fuels our fire even more to want to become, our goal of being a household name, that Icing Smiles rolls off your tongue and you know exactly what we're talking about, because you got to experience a cake, or you got to, refer someone to our program, or you bake for us.
Right.
That there's a lot of opportunity here.
That is wonderful. Well, I've got people's names popping in my head that I'm gonna make sure they know about this because they're bakers or they're, professional bakers or there's a girl that was friends with my daughter who makes the most beautiful cookies. And I'm gonna send this to her because I mean that would be perfect. And I want everybody to know about this. Baking is just special to me. Like I said, I'm not the fanciest, I'm not the best, but I just enjoy it. I love being able to do that. I've got 6 cupcakes sitting on my counter for my mother-in-law for her birthday. So, and they're, nothing fancy, but that's what I can do. I can make somebody smile with a little cupcake. So
Yes, I love it. I would just encourage everybody to check out our website,
yes,
icingsmiles.org, where we work really hard on our social platforms. We're big on like Facebook and Instagram of sharing the cakes that our sugar angels do, of getting across the smiles that these cakes bring. And whether a baker, whether a medical family, like spread the word.
yeah,
We want to serve.
awesome. Well, I'm
Thanks so
excited.
much. I really appreciate you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye bye.